If you move in love and light, then you will always find the right type of energy to surround you with.
I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit the podcast. I can't.
We done did it.
So professional, right? Look at us go. You got tech.
Isn't
you got.
it so hard to stay quiet during that?
So
I know. I always want to giggle during it too.
But it's always so much fun because you can hear all the noises around us that get cut out from the final thing, or else you would hear like the buzzing of the AC.
Yeah.
And I always hope for, so the yogurt shop next door, when people open their door, it goes, "Burner,
Yeah.
burner." And
But
I'm
it
like,
didn't happen.
it didn't
Or the
happen.
train.
It's not going to pick it up.
Have you guys had the
we've
train?
had the train.
We've had
Yeah.
the
We've
train.
had the train. Okay, everyone's babe, watch your foot. And Raedene, you're good.
Okay, cool.
So I'm gonna make sure that nothing
Everybody's still
unplugged.
alive.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm so excited to have you here.
Yeah, this is.
Okay, let's do our intro. Ready?
Yeah, how do we do an intro again?
I don't know. Hold on.
We-
Let me pull up the episode.
Raedene could probably do our intro for us at this point because you do it the exact same way.
twist.
Aurora literally reads it word for word every time.
No,
so you're
I
like,
don't. Not anymore. I've gotten better.
our intro's like the Law and Order theme, just like in the court of law.
Also, so sorry if I have coffee breath. I don't have any gum.
You're fine.
Okay, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Love and Comedy Podcast with your host, Aurora Singh.
And I'm Drew Schaefer.
And this is a podcast about two stand-up comedians who talk about pursuing love while pursuing a career in stand-up comedy. Welcome to this episode. We are joined today.
Plot twist.
We are joined today with you, babe. Introduce it. I said it. Oh my god.
Wow.
Like her, but I meant like just like introduce it, like the
Wow. Introduce the show. Introduce our guest. Yeah. I wanted to say a fan, but at this point, like, it's beyond that. You are a coworker, colleague, supporter.
Yeah.
Raedene Harborth, everybody. All right, that's the energy
Raedene,
every
yes.
guest needs to match, and if they don't, they're gone.
The bar is set, you guys. This is it. Raedene has been a longtime listener. She's listened to every episode.
Day one.
Yeah.
Day
Day one, ride or die.
And I love Raedene. She's so sweet. I don't remember the first time I met you, but I know that it was good vibes.
Oh man, if I
Do you?
I remember the first time I remember being like, that's Aurora Schaefer or Aurora Singh.
Yeah. I mean, either way.
That was Aurora. It was at the callback bar, and I was like, and you had just gotten your dog too. I was like, that's her. And you you gave me nugs for the first time, and I was like,
Oh my god.
Isn't that weird to think we have that effect on some comedians? Like,
Yeah.
when we used to be like, oh my God, like Ellis, who was on the podcast, we
Yeah,
were like,
yeah.
Ellis the first time, I was like, he's talking to me. Like, I remember being that way.
Yeah.
such a funny story about meeting Ellis. I had met Ellis at the Pro-Am, and I hadn't signed up. I was just like checking it out. And I was sitting kind of in the back just watching everything. And Ellis sat down next to me. We just started talking, and he was just chatting. And then 20 minutes later, he's like, are you a comic? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, I meet comics all the time. I thought you were just a person. No. He's like, I wouldn't have talked to you this way if I knew you were a comic.
Oh my god, Ellis.
And then he's like, are you funny? And I was like, I think he's like, are you funny?
Yeah. And what was your answer?
I was like, I'm trying really hard to be.
Oh my god, so sweet.
That's so you. That is still you to this day.
And then he was
Right?
like, just encouraged me to do the open mic, but I was like, I can't do it. I'm not.
Yeah. It's good. I don't know what I'm saying. It's fun. I'm tired, you guys. Can I just say that? Let me just put that out there. Aurora's going to be a little loopy today.
Well, good thing we have energy on our podcast. Raedene is like the
Right.
most energetic comedian where I'm just like,
she's
yes.
bringing the energy today for sure.
I watched what I think maybe your Burbank Comedy Festival. Did you post like your intro to that?
Where I got into cold water? Yeah.
I think so. Like you
Wait, you
ran
went
out.
into
You were
cold
like,
water?
I was like, oh, that's like Aurora's saying. Like Aurora will go and be like, hey, what's up? And like,
Wait, I didn't see that.
didn't see it?
What
Yeah.
do do you mean?
I my dad has this like ice water thing, and it was like 50 degrees. I put 3 huge ice blocks, got it closer to 40, and then like my plan was to get into it and like do my little intro for Burbank, and that's what I did.
What?
Yeah.
I missed that. I gotta watch it now.
For sure.
Oh my God, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
I was nervous about it because like I'm in my like, some people call it their like soft era, you know? I'm in my like soft belly era, and so like I'm not super confident about my body, but I put my body on the internet and that was good for me.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, everybody is a good body.
Yeah.
Yes, we love it.
I just finally got over that whole thing. I'm like, everybody like has a little bit of something they want to fix or change. I'm like, we're all just people.
Well,
That's
I
true.
just ordered a suit online and it didn't fit. The pants don't fit. And I asked Drew last night, I was like, should I keep it and just like have it be, because it's a gold sequin pantsuit. I
Yes,
know.
yeah.
And I was like, should I keep it and have it just be like my gold pants? And he goes, babe, we're too old. Just give up.
Yeah, we're not losing weight.
God damn it. That's so
If,
true.
if you want me to start getting extra large shirts, same thing for you.
Like,
I'm never going to be a
I'm
large
not
ever
gonna fit in
again.
these pants. Like, just give up.
That's
you
the
know?
8-ball answer I want.
Yeah.
Just give up.
Just accept the fact that this is your size and just
Fuck yeah.
return the pants.
Well, what's
Yeah.
also like I've been turning around in my brain is like I've like growing up, you only have a child's body. That's all you have
Yeah.
in the trunk. No, okay,
Yep.
so you only have a child's body,
Everybody
Yes,
had
yes,
one,
yes.
of course.
and then you get older, and like of course your body's gonna change. Not in
Yes.
just like hips or whatever, but like you're going to gain weight. That's fine. That's part of being like an adult
and
you
being
know?
healthy and like you're gonna
Truly.
and
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
and that just means that you're out experiencing life, and as long as you feel healthy and you
Yeah.
are strong and you can experience, like you're strong enough to go out and experience life, that's all it really should matter.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you felt the confidence to put that out on the internet. I hope more people learn from that and find their confidence too, because we are all stars, you know, and we just all deserve the best, and just love and light.
That's Aurora's go-to.
Live, laugh,
Love
love.
and light. Yeah.
Love and light. Love and light is
Love
Aurora's
and-
version of live, laugh, love. Love and light. Just love and light.
Love and light.
Just follow love and light.
Aurora did an audition to be a best friend of a big music star in a like music video, and
Oh,
she's like,
yeah.
it was like improv, you talking to her like you're her best friend, and we're just like, find the light and you'll find the love and you'll find the right guy for you. Like it was
I
this,
can't believe I didn't get that audition.
Was it Paris
You know
Hilton?
what I mean?
Because Paris Hilton had that like 15 years ago.
No, it
That'd be
wasn't
cool.
Paris Hilton. It was a huge musician celebrity that I am not allowed to say who it
Yeah,
was for.
that's
But
why-
it doesn't
It's okay.
matter. I didn't get the job.
yeah.
So
So you're gonna watch the
so
music
lost.
video and be like, they did
I was just
that.
telling Drew, it's so weird seeing the project that you auditioned for and who they picked, because I just saw a commercial that popped up and I was like, I know the script, and I was like, oh my God, I auditioned for this commercial.
Oh my God.
And then I saw who they picked and I was like, oh, that makes sense. You know, I'm like, I guess they know what they're doing.
I love that though. I love like that's the fucking thing of like, yeah, that works. Yeah.
It was just weird sitting on the couch and being like, these words sound familiar. Oh my God, I read these.
Yep.
Wow.
So Raedene has been a comedian for how long?
A year and a half. Last year, March 23rd, 2022.
Oh, you have the exact date. That's awesome. Don't ever forget it, because I don't remember my exact date.
It was
Do you remember my exact date?
Yeah, because it's the Facebook memory.
I know,
Remember?
but did I post that on the day?
No, it was
of
the day after. So
Okay.
yours would have been
It's
we'll
not
figure it
about
out.
me.
It's not about you.
me.
It's not about you.
me
It's
right
about
now.
Raedene.
We're talking about Raedene.
A year and a half in.
Okay,
Love and
year
light.
and a half in.
Love and light. Love and light.
Love and light. Love and light. So you're a year and a half in. You started where?
Luna's.
Luna's.
Well, I took a comedy class here at the nonprofit at Comedy Spot where we're recording right now.
By the way,
way.
we're recording a live from the Sacramento Comedy Spot. They have
Classes. They have shows, sketch, improv, stand-up comedy, everything, variety shows. Raedene, you're involved with a lot of stuff here. Tell us about it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I took the stand-up class here at Comedy Spot, which was really nice just because they teach you things that like are so natural to comics nowadays, whereas like no one's going to tell you like, hey, put the mic behind you.
no one's going to tell you.
Truly, because it's
We'll
just
just
like
watch you do it and be like,
they're like, nah.
Yeah.
So they teach stuff like that. I took all their improv classes 1, 2, and 3 so I could audition to be on Helix, which I'm so freaking excited for. I made it for.
You did it?
I did. I just
What's
finished-
Helix?
Oh, it's.
There's a poster on the wall all about it.
Do you know? Are you familiar with the Herald?
No.
It's no.
Aurora's taken 0 improv courses.
so
I
good.
took 101 twice, and yeah.
Heck yeah. But the Herald is
Bad at
an improv structure thing, and over the pandemic, Brian, who is the owner of the nonprofit Comedy Spot, he created
Love Brian.
Heck
We
yeah.
love Brian.
He created the Helix, and it's just a story, 3 monologues, 2-person scenes, another monologue, scenes, maybe another story in scenes.
Oh,
And
like acting.
improv, yeah.
Oh, improv.
But we tell true stories, and then we take something funny from it, and we just create scenes.
Oh, cool.
Remember, like when we did that stand prov that they call it? There's a show called Stand Prov. So we all did our comedy, and then the improv group acted out stuff from it. So
I've
similarly,
done a couple of things like that. Yeah.
yeah,
That's cool.
and it was so
Yeah.
cool. So it's
Yeah.
it's like that.
Okay, cool. So did you do the stand-up comedy class before you did your first show? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The
Controversial.
power of comedy classes. And
Okay, because what we're doing this season now is that we're doing this topic like where we talk about it and then we bring a guest to talk about it.
Okay.
So we had our opinions, but obviously this is about love and light. This is about
Love and
Raedene
light.
today. So you took a class first, and you felt like that helped you.
It helped me just kind of teach me where to go.
Okay.
It was like a map of like, this is where to go for what,
Right.
which was really nice. Yeah.
This is why I'm excited to have Raedene on today.
Yeah.
Drew and I discussed this because we've had a lot of seasoned comedians on here, and we really wanted to get your perspective as a newer comic into stand-up to see like what's important to you coming, because we started 9 and 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And this was before social media was what it is right now.
in Reno.
And she's
Yeah.
like, I know all of it.
Reno.
No, but
I
like,
posted so many YouTube clips. Like that was
Yeah.
the only way you could get your clips out there was you posted a full video on YouTube.
Yeah,
Not short
Wow.
ones, full videos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's why we really wanted to get your perspective, and you and I did a show in Avery.
Yes. Winters.
Um,
Oh my God.
yeah.
What a show.
Beef.
I feel like you and I connected on it because you're like, hey, is your phone also SOS? I was like,
Yeah.
yes, my phone is also SOS.
Service was literally SOS. We were like, are we okay here? What's happening?
God, I love that show because I don't know if any comic has really experienced this, but you got heckled not by one, but by 2 dogs.
Like 2 dogs. Dude, a dog came on and started licking himself during my set. I was like, I don't know how to handle this. This is a curveball I've never experienced. But I really enjoyed talking to you before the show and hearing what was important to you as a new comic. I was like, oh God, this is like good to talk because we don't know what it's like now starting out. So, and anyways, I love you as a comic. And I loved your hosting that night too. It was so fun and high energy. And I was like, yeah, like you got me pumped up. I was like, let's go.
Thank you.
So it was great. Yeah.
I'm unmedicated.
Babe, do you want to do the first game?
I
Are you
mean,
okay?
I'm enjoying watching this energy.
Are you good?
This is great. This is
Okay.
great. Raedene, are you the permanent host of the open mic now here?
Oh, no,
Or
I'm
just a
co-host with
Co-host.
Adam.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay, I was like the last 2 times I've been here, you were the host, and your energy's great. That's why I was
Thank
like, oh, I'm so
you.
excited. Yeah. Let's dive in. All right.
Okay.
We want to get to know you, Raedene.
Oh my God.
You know us so well. We want to know you so well too.
Yeah.
We want to be your number 1 podcast fan.
Should
so
we
well.
say more things
God.
about Raedene?
We
It's-
should. Should we?
You do it. Where's she from?
What do you mean? Where's she from? Why are you asking me?
I want you to do it.
From here? Raedene is from here. See, now it just sounds like a question.
No, she's from South Africa.
My parents are.
Her parents are from South
Well,
Africa.
you can't just call people from South Africa.
I
You have
didn't.
to
I
ask.
thought. I could have sworn you lived there though.
I did.
See,
Okay.
she did live there.
So this-
That's what I. Okay, I
Oh, all
misunderstood.
right, Regina George. All
I
right.
know.
This
I'm
is
like,
so
you don't
mean
look
girls.
like you're from Africa.
You don't look like you're from Africa. The way you said that, I was like,
Oh
well, how
my
am I
God.
supposed to? I'm sorry. I
Okay,
didn't know
okay,
you
I'm
were-
sorry. Okay, she lived in South Africa, but you were born here in Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Okay, what else? Say more things.
I was about to say, well, we're about to get to know her. I don't want to
Okay.
ruin one of her. That was
This
literally one of her
episode is
truths.
unhinged, and I am loving it. Okay, love and light. Let's do it.
Okay, love and light. So our way to get to know you a little bit better, it's the old classic camp icebreaker, 2 truths and a lie.
Oh, yeah.
You are going to tell us 3 things, and we are going to guess what's the truth and what's the lie.
Oh, heck yeah. Let's
Yes.
party.
Throw them at us. Let's hear
party.
it. Let's
All
do it.
right. So I'm not going to look at you guys so you can't read my thoughts.
Ooh.
All right.
I'm just
now-
hardcore staring at you now.
I successfully backpacked the PCT. I successfully rode my bike from Sacramento to San Francisco. I took French 1 3 times.
Okay.
Wait, what's the PCT? Pacific Coast
Pacific Crest Trail. It's
Crest Trail.
backpacking from all the way like the border of Mexico to the border of Canada. You go through California, through Oregon, through Washington.
Okay, that sounds
She knew
like
all 3 states.
that sounds like a very wide activity. So I'm going to say that's a truth.
I feel you.
What do you think?
I think so too. That seems very you. I think you have the energy for it.
I think you retook French 1 3 times.
Ooh. Oh yeah, and that was the truth. Yeah.
I think that was the truth, and I think the Sacramento to San Francisco is a lie.
I think that's a lie as well. I'm going to go off them.
Go. How would you even do that?
There's ways.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say your face twitched on that one. The other two,
Oh,
yeah. I'm like,
you
you
saw a
closed your
tell?
eyes, but I saw the tell. I saw it, and
Okay.
So what was it? Are we?
I did take French 1 3 times.
Yes.
So I'm
good for
really
you.
good at numbers 1 through 10. Really good at that.
Let's do it.
De, trois, quatre, cinq, six,
Six.
sept, huit, neuf, dix. Alala.
oh.
And
Was that
that's
some
from
Rihanna?
there.
Was that some Rihanna at the end there?
And from there it's gone.
You lost me at seis, but yeah.
That's all good.
At Sace? Is it Sace?
Seis says 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 5. Says?
I don't know where you jumped to.
I think
For
I
the
went
culture.
from French to Spanish.
Yeah, you did. For the culture, babe.
I think I went from French to Spanish, and that's my bad.
This is a citizen of the world.
Okay,
Okay.
so that's the truth.
That's true.
Yes.
And then the lie was the San Francisco.
I successfully rode my bike from Sacramento to San Francisco.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so many questions. First, why?
Truthfully, because I have this like thing in my brain where it's like a math thing. What is it called? The brackets of equality or something like that.
Okay.
The equation of basically in these hard brackets, you can put any negative number you want. It has to come out positive. So like
The absolute value.
yes, the absolute value.
Absolute value.
Yep.
Yeah.
Math nerd.
You can't. You
For the
can't.
record,
No matter-
I was about to say that.
No matter what negative it is, just
Yeah,
throw
you can't
those.
travel negative
Okay.
5 miles. And so for me, like I've had a lot of situations in my life that like sucked. And like for me, I thought of it like that's not bad or good energy. That's just the energy of the universe. I can take that and pivot it and ride that way instead. So for me, riding my bike from Sacramento to San Francisco was I've had all these other unnecessary things happen. I can ride my bike if I want to. So I did. And I also like I didn't want to be scared of my own horizons, so to speak. You know what I mean? So I did that for I think it was like my 20th or 21st birthday. I
Okay,
think.
so that's amazing.
awesome.
Where did you start in Sacramento, and where did you end in San Francisco?
Arden Park, Golden Gate Bridge.
Okay, and then did you rode back too?
No.
Okay.
No, I hitched a ride home.
Okay.
Okay. And yeah, where
incredible.
do you ride? Is there like roads?
First
and back
off,
roads?
Google Maps does not care about your health or wellness of life. Google Maps doesn't care. Google Maps at 4 a.m. was like, hey, go through this dark tunnel. And I was like, no. So I rode my bike a mile this way and it was like, U-turn.
Oh.
It took me through not a freeway, but a freeway, not a freeway, but
Like
a
a
freeway.
highway?
Like a highway.
Okay.
I went on, there was cars past me like 70, and then I went on a bridge, and I was walking the bridge. It wasn't smart, but I did have a great time.
How long did it take you?
Like, oh God, I left at 4. I got there at like 7, I think.
It took you only 3 hours?
No.
15 hours.
4 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Yeah. I like that reversal. I've driven that in 3 hours.
I was like, wait a minute.
I saw the wheels turning. Did you see it too? Did you see her like trying to calculate? She's like, 3. How?
Yeah, I was like, 4 to okay.
You're like, all right.
Yep.
I was like, damn. I was like, you got some powerful legs, girl.
Oh.
Oh my
15
god.
hours. Whew.
It was one.
Did you bring snacks?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
But like it was all like energy driven snacks. I should have brought some actual food, but I didn't do that. Plus, don't buy your backup phone chargers from Amazon, even if they're really cute and pink.
Okay.
They're going to overheat and break. Whoops.
Oh, no.
And so I was in Oakland at the time, and I'm just a little scared little girl. So I was like in Oakland. I was like, oh no, bad things are gonna happen to me, which was dumb. But I went to a KFC and I charged my phone for like 10 minutes, and then I jumped on a little boat from Oakland to San Francisco, which might be cheating, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's cheating.
What? Once you're there,
That's
no.
cheating.
I love it. No.
No,
So it's a lie. That's a lie.
cheating.
That's what
It's
it
a
is.
lie.
We still win. We still win.
That was technically a lie.
So that's why your face twitched, because you knew you were
'cause
lying.
You
Yeah.
knew part
You
of it was
knew?
a lie.
Yeah.
Yep, this is the Maury show, and the lie detector,
The lie detector
determined
says
that
I
was
am
a
the
lie.
father.
you did not successfully ride your bike.
Yeah, successfully. I successfully did an open mic. You did 2 minutes and cried
That's
for
like,
3.
that's like someone saying they're a runner but then running a half marathon.
Ooh.
My favorite was saying I ran a half marathon is way better than saying I stopped a marathon halfway.
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
How does that feel, Raedene?
You know, like my whole life is a lie, and I appreciate being on here.
Yeah.
A lie.
We just want to make sure that when you leave our podcast, you feel love and light.
I love and light.
Yeah, love and light. Yeah.
Love and light.
We're
Yeah,
going to
love
tear
and
you
light.
down and rebuild you with love and light. Just the pyramid. It's not a pyramid scheme, but it is a pyramid
It is
of
a
love and
pyramid
light.
of something.
It's a pyramid of
Well,
something.
those are interesting facts, though. Like, that's incredible that you rode your bike that far. I commend you for that, especially that the fact that people are awake at 4 a.m.
Yeah, that one was tough.
That's the most
biggest
impressive part. Or it was like 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
You weren't going to sleep. You were just
Automatically, everyone shut off at that time.
That's fair.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did 2 truths and a lie.
Yeah.
I feel like we got to know you pretty good. Is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners?
I unsuccessfully backpacked the PCT.
Oh, so you attempted.
Yes.
Okay. you
Okay.
did. Okay. How far did you make it?
11 miles, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
11. That's barely a hike.
Yeah, I don't know if that.
If it's fair.
What happened?
what happened?
So I was living in Portland at the time, and my best friend in the entire world is my dog. I love my dog. He's
Aw.
125-pound Mastiff. His name is Rambo, and
Cute.
he's a Gemini. His birthday is June 4th. And I
Oh
just
my God.
okay. You guys have a dog. If
Yeah.
you do the dog DNA test, it's worth it. It's worth
Okay.
it. It seems dumb. I found out he's 8% South African, which makes me like I was like,
Oh my God.
I couldn't. I mean,
Cute.
he was also like 10% pit bull, but I was like, not
No,
important.
ignore
No,
it.
He's 8% South African and also 30% German Shepherd, but more importantly,
But-
we're soulmates. I got
Wait, I didn't realize that on the dog DNA test they say like their ethnicity.
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, the
Did you,
ethnicity-
babe?
Are you saying the breed is like a South African breed, or did
Yes.
it literally? Okay, not that it was like, oh yeah, and it's
Well, it's
12%.
It's like Irish. It's like 2% Irish.
Yeah.
Like what?
But they do have so that's very interesting. The 3 things they do for the test: they do the breeds, they do the health, and they also do the Wolfie test, which is where they tell you how Wolfie percentage.
Oh my God, what was it?
So most dogs are 4.4 to 5%. That's the average, and it's very common. It's uncommon for like 8-9%. Rambo was 13% Wolfie. And because of this, they're like, here, they gave me a page of, here, maybe his siblings you can reach out to. And they're like, because your dog scored so high on the Wolfie test, we cannot legally let you know his relatives. Which is weird.
That's dope.
I was like, there's a story behind that one.
They will
for
create
sure.
a pack and take over a small town.
It's
That
true.
is what would
That's
happen.
really cool. So did you bring your dog with you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I was in Portland living with my dog,
Okay.
and I started this like I'm gonna backpack the whole PCT. That was what I was supposed to do in my 20s, was backpack the United States, the PCT, the Appalachian Trail, and then I was gonna do the Continental Trail, which isn't even a real trail yet, but it's from somewhere in Oregon all the way to Maryland, and that's what I was gonna do with this dog. And he's a giant breed, and that's not a good idea. So I saved all of my money from January to when was it? August, and then I quit all my jobs. I had 2. And then Rambo went from a nice air-conditioned apartment to the trails. And he was not happy. And that's fair, you know? Because I was training. He was not. He was chilling. And so we got to this trail, and it was immediately like 300 feet hike up. Just immediately hiking up.
Rambo.
He didn't like it. He was very upset. And then we got to like a nice little tent area by the lake. And he's like, okay, this is fine. And then we get up the next day, and like he's just upset. And there's a point where like we had done another like 5 or 6 miles, and he sat down and refused to get up. He's like, I'm
Good
done.
for you, Rambo.
No,
good for you.
I remember there was a time where my dad, he was driving me from Portland to this point in Etna, which is a starting point. And I told my dad, I was like, I'm willing to die on this trail. And truly, I meant it. I was like, I'm going to put my head into it and get it done. I wasn't willing to sacrifice any of Rambo's life in any regard.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But Rambo turning that dream around, and then I came back to Sacramento, picked things up.
Oh my God.
And then started stand up.
There you go. Love and light,
Love and
right?
light.
Because you followed love and light, and it brought you to us,
Hello.
to this point. No, that's incredible. And I'm glad that you stopped for Rambo's sake. Right,
Oh.
babe?
Yeah. I was just laughing because before we started recording, we're like, man, we're like really worried about like saying things and doing things that make her feel weird. And now you're doing a cult. Apparently we're a cult. You're
Why?
like love and light, love and light.
Love and
So
light.
by the end of it, you're
Worship
going to be
me.
like pledged to the love and light. Yeah.
I'm already wearing your merch. Oh, yeah.
By the
Can
way.
I say this merch is no longer available, losers?
Limited edition Aurora Sing comedy merch.
It's true. There's other merch, but you don't get this
You don't get
one.
that
No, that's
No.
it.
Should have
Only
got them at the goddamn comedy shows when she
only-
told you to.
Right? Only 150 people in the entire world have these shirts.
Yep.
Woo! I
also-
can't wait to make it big, and then everyone's like, "Who's got the shirt? Who's got the shirt?" You
It's
know?
true.
Yeah, I was so convinced on the two truths and a lie. I was like, you look like Reese Witherspoon in Wild, where she goes on the PCT, and it's just like, you can't make it, little lady, and everybody's just like hating on her, and she's like, you don't know what I'm capable of. I'll die out here, like same
true.
energy. And
Oh,
then-
I can
you.
definitely see that.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Wild? feel
I
like
don't know.
that's
I've
one,
never
yeah.
seen. I don't know what you're talking about, but I can. But from what you described, it sounds accurate.
That's why I was like, I see it. I
Yeah.
see it 100%.
So, Raedene, you're dating.
Yes.
You're in a relationship.
Yes.
Oh wait, did you already say how gay she was?
Oh.
Did I? How rating will you tell us how gay you are so I don't sit here and be like, she's gay?
I'm actually not gay at all. I'm kidding. Super gay. Super gay. Oh my God. But I am in a heterosexual relationship, which is a tax write-off if you guys didn't know.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God! is
Aurora's
it?
Aurora's like, wait. Aurora's like, I've been to the hole. I've been to the hole. I can write it off now.
Oh my God. Okay, cool. So it's not a tax write-off.
No,
just
it's
to
not.
clarify.
No.
Dang, I thought that was real.
That would be so
That'd
cool.
be so dope.
It's like,
but
as a gay
also
person-
very wrong. You know, if heterosexual relationships were a tax write-off.
Oh no, if you're a gay person in a heterosexual
Yeah.
relationship.
Oh.
Being a pit. Like,
Oh yeah, because it's
giving pity to
technically
the
like
heteros.
volunteer work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I understand.
I mean, I get it. Yeah. If you have a choice between woman and a man to date, and you date a man,
Yeah. And I've told him straight to his face, and he very much is aware of it. Like, I'm like, if it's not you, it's women. He's like, oh, I get it. He's like,
I get it.
no, he is. He was like, I also am into women, which
That's
is
really
cool.
sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, he's amazing because he's super honest, super both like literally today, him and I had a conversation about like moving somewhere internationally or nationally together, and it was just nice because it's like we're not like being like, and then we'll do this and that. He was like, what does that look like for you as a comic, and what does that look like for us? Which is, he's
Oh my
healthy?
God.
treasure.
Healthy. Okay.
How
yeah.
long have you guys been dating?
We've been dating a year, but we've been friends for 5 years. And like
Wow.
genuine. So in my bit, I have a
How did you make that transition from friend of 4 to relationship?
It took a long time because I have liked him for 5 years. And I told him 3 separate times, I'm like, I have a crush on you and I really like you and I want this to be more. And each time he was like, I love the shit out of you. You're one of my greatest friends, but I just don't have those feelings. And there would be times where like truly I would be so frustrated with having these feelings for him. I would go to bed crying at night because I was like, I'm not being a good friend. He's so clear about that this isn't what he wants.
That's
and I
like
still,
his boundary. And
yeah. And I just, I couldn't get over him. And then last year in March, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go out and like start dating. And I did. And then he messaged me at like 2 a.m. in April. He was like, hey, I actually really like you. Like that. And he's like, I keep on going onto dating sites and swiping left and being like, that's not Raedene. That's not Raedene.
Oh,
I know.
okay.
He's so sweet. And
it took him a minute, but he got there.
it did. And then him and I had a conversation that was just like, we get so much from this friendship. We wouldn't want this to, we wouldn't want us pursuing a possible romantic relationship to tarnish our already great friendship. So
very common fear to have.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're making the jump from friend to relationship, because you're like, this is so good.
Yes.
And I want you physically now too, and exclusively.
Yeah.
But I don't want, you don't want to lose that amazing relationship you have. Ugh, that's a tough decision to make for both parties.
Yeah. But we talked and we were both very much like, if you're not comfortable, if I'm not comfortable, then we just go back to being friends, and that's okay.
So you guys started dating around the same time you kind of were getting into comedy.
Exactly.
And how is he with you doing stand-up?
Oh, it's amazing because I'm a workaholic. He's a workaholic. He truly works over 100 hours every single week.
Oh, wow.
And so it's...
And you are a hustler, Raedene. You are. I heard a little bit about your schedule when we were in Avery, and I was like, damn, girl.
That one was a wild weekend.
Yeah.
But it's those things where it's like, we found this crazy ratio of balance to our work schedules because we both work so much, So, and it's also nice because like, while in the honeymoon stage of our relationship, because of our work schedules, we still have to focus on ourselves and come back and be together, which is really, I'm grateful for. I think just the long run, that pays off a lot.
I think that friendship really pays off too. Like having that's the foundation. So everything else, it's like you guys already have that to fall back on. You know how you are. That's really cool.
Clearly you guys communicate and have like understand expectations, and I love that you said that it's important for both of you to like have your own lives and then come together, because a lot of people in relationships want to have all the same interests and everything, and they forget that like you're people that need separation.
Right.
And then I was just talking about this last night with a friend of mine, but I was like, and it's good to have different events going on and different things, because when you're with someone for a long time, you need things to talk about.
It's true.
Yeah.
And if you guys are together all the time, what are you talking about?
So true. And also like they fell in love with you not because of like of how similar you guys were, but they fell in love because you're a different person with a different experience, and they like you as that. True.
Yes, girl.
Unless you're
That's so smart.
Unless you're a narcissist, then
that's not gonna work.
You're like, I only love me. That's it.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, you ready for the game? Or sorry, did you want to say something? Did I cut you off?
No, I was gonna get us to the game. So our topic, we didn't start with this up front, but we were supposed to, is starting out. So, when you're first dating somebody, and yours is a little bit different because you at least knew the person. But starting out when you're first dating, what is a deadly sin for you? Like what would just like right away?
A first date or
first starting to date somebody, like that initial like
it's our
dating,
cute way
like,
of saying a red flag.
Yeah, red flag or deal breaker. What's your deadliest sin, or a few of them like you'd be like, nope, we're not dating?
For me, it's love bombing and shitting on their exes immediately, being like, you're so great, you're so wonderful. This other ex though, oh my god, crazy bitch, hate them.
I was going to ask you what love bombing is. What is that?
Oh, love bombing is where you're just like kind of a yes chamber in a way, where you're like,
what is a yes chamber?
Just like, obviously the frugality situation, obviously like
a frugality situation.
So a yes chamber is where you're like, yes chamber is where, like, say you're doing your stand up and you go to someone genuinely for feedback. They're like, everything was perfect, everything was great, and I loved every single bit of it.
Oh, okay.
You're like, that's so unhelpful.
Yeah, that's not going to help me grow in any way. Okay, I understand.
So if someone does that in a relationship, it's like, that doesn't help. Like, give me actual honesty and feedback. If I'm messing up on something, talk to me about it, communicate with me, So I think love bombing, where it's like, oh, you're the perfect person in the entire world and I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you. It's like, no, you may not, because you don't know who I'm going to be in 10 to 15 years.
Yeah. And there's no challenging or accountability. Yes. Like, you want to be with someone who doesn't try and change who you are, but holds you accountable.
Yes.
And
yeah.
Does that also come from dating somebody who used that to manipulate you? Because that's the common tactic, right?
I would say so. Yeah. I would. Yeah. I mean, if someone approaches me with honesty and is like, hey, I genuinely feel like this, but at the end of the day, it's up to you what you do. I'm like, I'm free to come and go as I please.
Yeah. That's a respectful way to do that. To be like, hey, I care about you, so I want to share this.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That I would agree. That Healthy. Is a deadly sin. Yeah. Because if someone's coming and being like, you're great. It's like, where's the challenge?
Exactly.
Are you going to tell me when there's a booger on my face? Or are you just going to be like, you look great?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the talking about badly about the exes.
That one, I actually draw that from like a business idea, which is people in Japan, they have this business idea. When they first get into business with someone, if someone talks, if whatever business they're getting with is like talks bad about another business, Japanese businesses tend to go, if they're talking bad about this business, what's stopping them from talking bad about me? And so they won't do that because it's like you're feeling comfortable enough in this business discussion to talk negative about a business that's not even here. That's what you bring to the table is negativity. You know?
I agree. And I also think that when you're talking bad about another business or your ex-partners, it shows that you are insecure and you're trying to deflect and put the blame on someone else.
In another relationship.
Instead of you just being confident and being like, some things went wrong and I'm growing and now I'm in here and I'm excited to get to know you and this is what I have to offer.
Yeah. Don't fix your past relationship in this new relationship. It's a totally separate thing.
Coming from the girl that talks about all of her exes on stage.
But it's funny.
It is funny. And I don't talk bad about them. I tell truths about them.
And you're paid.
Yes. And I'm getting paid to do it.
Exactly.
And I don't say bad things, right, babe? I say the things that
truth.
they did bad.
What's going to happen.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, but I agree. I think talking bad about your exes and being like, she was crazy and like, ooh.
Unless they are crazy, then give me a good story as to
Give
why.
me a reason.
Yeah. Don't
What
just
did
be
you
like,
slash your tires?
tell me why.
Why though?
Yeah.
What's the setup
What
for the
did you
punchline?
do? Like, let's victim blame. Let's make sure to victim blame first.
And is there understanding when they describe it? Like, is there like a understanding, like she was going through some trauma in her life and blah, blah, blah. Like, or is it just, she crazy? Like, how are you saying it? Are you like understanding, empathetic, or are you like all her fault, 100%, blah, blah, blah?
I would even respect someone who's like, oh yeah, my past ex is crazy, but that's because I'm crazy manipulative and it's my fault. And then I'd be like, cool, thank you. Good night. Thank you.
What did you do?
That would be my red flags.
Those are deadly sins. I agree.
I agree. What did we say?
Yeah, what do you guys?
We had the deal breakers and we just like went down the list.
Oh yeah, we did.
We played a game.
Yeah.
We named things that we thought the other person might be like, nope, could not date that.
Right.
And Aurora ended up doing like 100 of them. And I was just like, not a deal breaker.
Because I couldn't
not a deal
find
breaker.
Yeah, I couldn't find any. I was like, I need to, yeah.
I'm too understanding. Where she's like, yeah, she's a different religion. I'm like, we can make it work. She's a this. We can make it work.
Truly,
like everything.
Communication is everything.
It really is.
Yeah.
I'm too optimistic.
Because I think we were doing first date things. Like when you first find out this about, are you like, oh, no second date? And I think both of us were like, well, we would need to get more information.
Yeah.
There's like a whole science to first dates that like dating in general boggles my mind. Like courting people, I'm like, huh?
It's so, I don't remember. I don't remember how we did. That's why I don't understand, but I do understand how we worked out. Because we didn't like court the normal way. I don't know. Whatever. It's about Raedene.
You guys just hung out for a long time, and then it was like, hey, this is pretty neat.
It truly was just hanging out, and then it was like,
which is
do you
what
want to go
dating
on a
should
date?
be.
Yeah.
Like the science behind dating is it's. I understand why it's beneficial, but it's also like, I just don't think it makes sense. I mean, for some people it can, but it's like if you're always posing a thing of like, these are the do's and do nots of dating, it's like, or that's the general vibe. And yeah, you can look into someone, but you can also be like, they're just a person too. I don't know.
What do you think is the most important thing when you first start dating someone? Like what's the most important thing to do? Are you like, oh, we should have experiences, or oh, we should go to dinner, or what do you?
Whatever it is, set up a realistic expectation that you can sustain. Like if you're making all this effort in the beginning, can you do that continuously? Not exactly to that, but can you be in the ballpark?
And that's where love bombing, like the people that buy you flowers every single day. You're like, you're going to do this for 25 years. You're going to buy me flowers every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not sustainable.
Good piece of advice, Raedene. Yeah. Find someone who can be realistically like in love with you forever, because life has ups and downs, and it's like, can they communicate when they're down? Can they communicate when they're up? Are they going to bring you flowers every day? That's a lot of money. Now let's talk finances, right? Like,
let's talk global warming.
What are we doing?
This is healthy right here. This is like
this is the Love and Comedy podcast.
And love and light.
You're like, yeah, I just had a thing. I just wanted to ride my bike to San Francisco, and we're like, okay. And then you're like, yeah, all these other things. I'm like, this is like,
I know,
psychologically healthy. You've put in the work clearly, and we are proponents of that for sure.
I love that. Raedene had a big accomplishment recently. Was this your first?
This is my first comedy festival. It was so exciting. It was so cool.
Okay, first off, before we even say the comedy festival, what an amazing festival to get in on your first time.
A year and a half in?
No, that's like, you should be very proud of that.
I cried. I got the email. Okay, I cried on two things. One, I cried when I got on the Burbank Comedy Festival, and I cried when Sydney reached out to me back in October to be in the comedy showcase at Punchline. I was legit
Raedene.
And then I bombed on stage. Woo!
Raedene, you stop it.
Just love and light.
Love
and
light.
and you'll work your way through it.
Change the name of the podcast. No, congratulations on getting into the Burbank Fest. You wanted to share a story.
I did. So festivals are all about networking,
Yes.
and it's about having a good time, but obviously like creating connections. And it was funny because like I'd meet comics with like 90,000 followers, 150,000 followers. And there was a Bay Area comic who's like, yeah, if you ever in Bay Area, let's go do some shows. I was like, no, put me in the audience. But all I could offer to people was they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm a host at open mics. Sign-ups are at 7:30. Maybe you'll get on.
I can't even guarantee it. I run it, but I can't guarantee it.
Don't be late.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
That's a fairness thing, though. You're it's not fair if I put you up. They're like, you have the power. You're unchecked. You have no checks and balances.
I was like, your weight's here in LA. I can't translate that to Sacramento.
That is so funny
That's
because you definitely can just put them up.
You
know what I mean?
I don't know.
It feels wrong, though, doesn't
You
it?
had more to offer than I did when I went down there. I had nothing. They were like, what can you do in Sac? I was like, nothing. Hang out. I can give you like a place to eat.
There's a couch you can sleep on if you really wanted.
Yeah, but like don't, because I don't really know you like that. No,
That's fair. That's fair. No, it was just funny though, because I literally was talking to someone who is an established career person, right? This is their thing. And I was like, yeah, come down to Sacramento. I have open mics and you could do a solid 5, hopefully.
Did you have fun at this? Did you have fun at this festival though?
I had the best time. It was unreal, and it was just really. It's amazing when you're on stage, and I hit more of a vibe on the main room than I did in the Yoo-Hoo room, which was just when you're in that moment, you're like, oh, the audience is listening, and they're hanging on to every word. Oh, amazing.
When you get that, and the audience is like really into it, do you ever slow down and embrace the silence?
A little bit, but I do it. I notice I travel the stage more. So if I'm feeling really comfortable on stage, I walk around more, which is good. I feel like.
Yeah, it gets their attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if that's what you naturally want to do, great. Like that's something. If that's you, do it. It'll set you apart more.
Well, congrats.
Thank you.
We're so happy for you.
It was really fun.
I want nothing but the best for you.
Oh my God, bless. Love and light.
I'm really. Did you see my face? I was like, don't say it.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah. You got too talk showy. You got very like.
I was like, don't say love and light. Okay. Mary F. Kill comedy time. It's comedy time.
It's comedy time.
It's comedy time.
Sorry.
I love that. I hope that the mic picked that up. Raedene just whispered it. I was like, your turn. And she's like, it's comedy time. That was perfect. It's comedy time.
I would love if the mic picked up the whisper, but not that. Just like the mic's just like full ASMR, and then the other thing is like does not comprehend, does not compute.
We're gonna play a game. We're gonna play a game about starting out. It's obviously this whole episode's about starting out, first time out, dating, all the stuff, right? We have a Mary F. Kill.
Are you familiar with the game?
Yes.
I feel like, yeah, I'm like, just in case somebody's like, oh yeah, Mary F. Kill all of them. It's like, no.
And when we played this with Sydney, we did have to clarify that the F is like a good F, not like, ugh, fuck that.
Gotcha.
It was like a, yeah, like toot it and boot it kind
like
of
hot
situation.
and steamy type.
Yeah, hot and steamy with a concept, because it's not
Perfect.
people.
Yeah.
But a concept.
Did you already send her the concepts?
Yes.
I did, yeah.
Oh,
We've
okay.
given her time.
All right. So
I wanted her to get time to think about this.
Okay.
One, yeah.
So Mary F. Kill, comedy classes, going to open mics, reading a comic book. And again, this is
not a comic book, comedy book. Way different. Reading a comic book. We just want to know what your interests are. Marvel
reading
or
a
DC.
comedy book. And this is all about when you're when you're first starting or thinking about starting. What do you think Mary F. Kill, comedy classes, going to an open mic, reading a comedy book.
There we go.
And this is for like the first year, 2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
starting
like
out
first
to
year. I would
learn
say
how to
first
do it.
year.
Then that changes my answers a tad bit.
Okay.
Originally I was going to say kill the class and marry the book, but because it's the first year or two, I think kill the book. Yeah, I would say kill the book. Fuck the open mic, and marry the open mic and fuck the class.
Okay.
For stand-up. That's what I
Okay.
would
Let's
say.
This is yeah.
hold on. Let's dive in.
Hey,
I can't swim. Yeah. Okay.
For those that are listening, I pretended to dive in, and Drew can't swim, so he drowned.
Yep.
you can't.
I can't
I don't
swim.
mean that. You can't swim.
Yeah.
She tried to change her
Love and
tone.
light. Love and light. Love and light.
Love and light.
Right away, just try to change the tone. Love and light. Love
Okay,
and you can't
yeah,
see the
Drew-
light.
yeah,
Don't
Drew-
go to the light.
Don't
Just
do
swim. Just
Yeah,
swim.
just
Don't go to the light.
God, yeah, Drew cannot swim.
Have you tried floaties?
I'm a grown man. I can't do that.
Haven't you heard Taylor Tomlinson's whole bit about pool floaties?
Or like drugs, like antipsychotics.
No, it's about pool. Well, I mean, it's about therapy. But
Yeah,
she
therapy,
uses,
yeah.
pool. Have you heard this bit?
No.
Okay, we'll show it to you after.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
good. If you're listening, go find it. Taylor Tomlinson's floaty bit. It's about therapy.
Yeah,
It's really good.
Anyway, let's bring
it's
it back.
about
Let's bring it
Raedene.
back.
It's about Raedene.
So
It's about Raedene.
Those
It's
were
about
some
Raedene.
interesting answers
Yeah,
we do
tell
want to
us-
dive in.
Cool.
Yeah.
First, tell us the kill. Like why?
Kill the comedy book, because if there's anything that I feel new comics are, especially myself, it's in your head about the technical stuff. Sometimes it's just the action. It's just getting on stage and doing your bits. Whereas like if I go on stage right now and I'm like too technical about it, like when you're teaching someone how to swim, not Drew.
Yeah, tell people how to teach somebody to swim. 4th and 5th grade teachers, you should be watching. How should they have taught me to swim?
You throw them in the water and you're not gonna teach them like, and Michael Phelps does this with his technique. It's like, no, you're not there
Yeah,
yet.
you're not supposed to
You
do
know?
that. Yeah, you're not supposed to.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm
This is about Raedene.
Yep,
Was
okay.
we're talking about Raedene.
So you don't give them a book to read on how to swim.
No,
Okay.
and like-
because it's too technical.
And it's also like a lot of it is, I feel like for me, if I read a comedy book,
See? You see?
my bad. Like it would go over my head and it would just be too far above what I can actually apply realistically. for
And
me.
also, you have no context.
yeah.
Like you have no where to put these things that you're learning.
Absolutely. If someone's like,
Yeah.
if there's a chapter on like how to deal with hecklers, I'm not going to be on stage flipping to that chapter being like, 1 moment, sir.
Yeah.
Give me 1 moment.
Right.
Okay. Like
Right.
I would think, oh, I've had this experience. That's what I could do differently in that experience next time.
Gotcha.
You know,
I've seen that on Reddit too. Reddit, there's like entire subreddits of like stand-up comedy, and it's people who have never taken a stage, and they're like, I've been in the subreddit for a year, and I'm about to do my first open mic. I know everything because of you guys. I'm like, you don't know
Wow.
anything then. Like,
That's so true.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you
okay.
would kill the
Kill
book
books.
in the
Yeah.
beginning, and then you would marry open mic.
Yes.
Okay, why?
Mary open mics. That's who you got to go to at the end of the night.
Literally.
Isn't that sweet?
that's so cute.
Sweet.
And you don't always love it, but
No.
you keep showing up.
You keep showing up.
And
you
it-
know.
and
You
that's
you
the
keep
part-
showing up.
Okay.
Love and light.
All right, love,
Love
and
and
light.
light.
All right, that's we're done here. I'm just kidding. You just reached over to
The love or
to
comedy
hold my
Right
hand.
over our guest.
Love or comedy. Yes. No, that's so true. So you feel like that's where why do you always go there at the end of the night? What's your feeling on that? Like what brings you to open mics?
Well,
every night?
I actually had a conversation with a comic, David Samuel, recently, and he's been doing this for like 8 years. And I remember going up to him and I was like, hey, can you give me advice? And he does the thing where it's like, do you really want advice? Which is a fair question.
That's a very fair question, and I also
think you did
sometimes
that with
ask
me
that.
too. You're like, do you really want? And I was like, yeah, I absolutely do. And David was, I think I really appreciate his perspective. He was like, don't focus on your next 15 or 20. Just pound down on your 5 and 10, because those are the sets you're going to get over the next 5 years. And he's like, you might have 20 minutes of material. I've technically have done a 15 before, but he's like, are you killing it the whole 15, or do you have a really strong 5? And the next 10 is like, who is the audience going to remember? A really strong 5 minute or an okay 15? You know? So I think
Facts.
Open mics get really.
Wow, that's really good advice.
No, it's because it totally shifts my perspective of like, being like, oh, I just got a new 15. It's like, no, I'm really good at 5 to 10, and that might get me a guest spot somewhere where it matters.
That'll get you into festivals. That'll get you guest spots. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not in a place where like I need to worry about an hour special, let alone a 20-minute. That's not something that shouldn't be available to me right now, and that's okay.
And you can build that time at an open mic.
Absolutely.
And that's I love the, like, you're not entitled, because there's so many young comics that are like, I should be on Netflix already. I'm like,
I was that comic. I was like, I have an hour
and
I'm going to get picked up and I'm going to get a Netflix special. And then I got humbled real quick.
Well, I think the attitude is so important. I think having that expectation for yourself, but maybe being flexible with when you get there. Like maybe you are that comic now and the opportunity isn't there yet, but you're going to get to that opportunity.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Oh, Raedene, you're so good.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm learning.
I know. I feel like I'm so happy that you're here, because I feel like you're just like, you're very wise, and I'm gonna sound old when I say this, but you got a good head on your shoulders.
Aww,
you do.
thanks.
I'm very, very happy that you're here today. Okay. So and then what was the last one?
Was the comedy classes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm very shocked by that, since you took a comedy class.
Yeah, I would say every now and then you just gotta like jump in and do it, and it's not something. I don't think the classes are going to get you where you want to be, but I do know the classes have been very instrumental as far as like sometimes when you're out of a breakup, and you're like, I just need to like get back on the horse, you have like a one night stand, or not a one night, like you have a hookup, and that gets you back in the game. And for me, like, the class got me in the game of comedy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you feel like if you would go back, you would have done it the same way?
Yes.
Start with the class and then go to a mic?
Yes, because I feel like, and what I've really especially learned going to workshops that the festivals are, and the Sacktown Festival has free workshops, even if you don't make it in. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Because the hustle and grind of stand-up is so real, and a lot of comics do need to kind of like cut their teeth into it. The thing of the matter, though, is that at the end of the day, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to reinvent stand-up. It exists. You don't have to go and like make all these mistakes. And classes, and also eventually when it's of that person's time, the books, the workshops, those will be of more benefit, because you know now, and you're like, oh, okay. And also, like, there's so many things that I learned in a workshop, in a class, that saved me so much time. Like this, we talked about it briefly before, where you take the stand and you put it behind
and
you.
you move it. Just those. I didn't know that when I first started. I had the mic stand in front of me, and I think Miles Weber is the one who told me to move the mic stand.
Oh, wow.
Maybe, or Trevino.
Or was it Steve?
It might have been Steve Trevino.
Oh, maybe it's Steve Trevino.
I feel like, yeah, it's because comics are scared to correct comics. And also sometimes you see a new comic and you're like,
not even worth it.
Not worth my time.
Yeah.
They probably won't be doing this in 6 months. So it's like you're never sure as an older comic, like when to correct it. And you're like, they were so good, but they left the mic stand there the whole time.
Also, classes are great, because every single class, Jamie was my teacher, Jamie Fernandez. She said every single class, she was like, do not run the goddamn light. Everyone will hate you, and you deserve it.
First time I went on stage, I ran the light by 3 minutes.
I saw 3 people run the light at the festival. One person ran it by 10 minutes.
Sorry. No.
Genuinely.
Yep.
And they're never getting booked again there.
That work there. And Jenny told me about it. She's like, he knows where the light is. He ran it.
Oh.
And I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
oh, no.
There's other bookers that all just saw that. Like, she's like, that's a cardinal sin. Like, that's
10 minutes is not good.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm hearing then for you is that it was beneficial to do the class when you first started comedy.
Yeah.
But also focus on going to open mics and getting out there. Like, you have to have something to apply these tools to.
Absolutely.
And if you don't go on stage and you don't feel how to move, like, that's one thing, like, people don't realize, even just having the confidence to go on stage and move the mic, it takes a lot when you first start stand-up, don't you think?
Yeah, you want to run out there and just start saying your jokes. It's all that's in your head, but taking that second to set the stage is how I was told to do it.
And it's like a thing that you have to, like, really cautiously think about when you first start stand up.
Yes.
And if you were taught that in a class and then you never go to open mics, you're never going to understand that transition and that feeling, because when you first start, like Drew said, you feel rushed. Like you're like, oh my God, I gotta go.
Gotta
Yeah,
get it all
5
out.
minutes,
I
yeah.
love when a stage, whether it's an open mic or a show, has stuff for me to move, because it gives me that second where the crowd's like, oh, he's not scared. He's not rushing to say a joke. He's comfortable with this moment of like moving a chair, moving a stool, moving whatever out of the way. Like, okay, he's a pro.
Yeah.
And it changes the audience's perspective
It
so
changes
much.
their perspective without even knowing it changes
Yeah.
their perspective, though. And I think that's part of the like the touch of art of stand up is like putting pressure where they don't even know they could have that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that I like the fact that you took the class, but
I'm glad they're teaching that in the class too.
I am too.
That's-
And I'm glad that the person's like, don't run the light. Oh God, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much. No, it sounds like okay, that sounds beneficial. I think that was different than the answers we gave last week, but I'm understanding and seeing the perspective.
Yeah.
Especially now too, because where and when we started, there were not that many resources. So like
No.
in Reno, there weren't comedy classes. I didn't even really realize that there were comedy books. I asked Drew about the first open mic I ever went to. Like I'm not actually, sorry, that is a lie. I asked Billy, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, more attractive Drew.
I'm so sorry. But after that, I did ask Drew, like, where else can I go? There wasn't like in Sacramento, we have like a Facebook group that we have those resources, and open mics are posted, and shows are, people are looking for shows. Hey, I'm looking for a 10-minute person, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
We didn't have any of that.
Wow.
So
when we started in Reno, there was like one group that produced shows, and it was just the same 5 people on every lineup. And otherwise it was like you just did open mics with all the other comics, and that was it.
Yeah, and we just didn't have the resources. So like you said, you don't have to reinvent the wheel now, because you do have these resources where you can take a class, or you just go to an open mic, and you can easily find open mics now where you can just go online and Google Sacramento open mics and things will pop up. And we didn't have that.
Dang.
So it's just different. We just had to start like literally being like, what do I, know? And we kind of not had to reinvent the wheel, but we had to discover it on our own.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's such an interesting perspective. I love it.
I know, that's so
really
cool.
nice.
And that's good. I think that's awesome that comedians can get a little bit more streamlined now and not have to, because I think that did hold us back in the beginning. We probably would have progressed a lot faster, but Drew and I got a lot of our insight, like the things you're learning with the mic stand and making the stage your own and not running the light, by doing it and then having a headliner be like, hey, you dumb bitch, move the mic stand.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, I've been doing this for 4 months and I've always had it in front of me,
Yeah.
So I think that's awesome. I like that
Me
you
too.
can apply it.
Again, the topic today is starting out, so we want to get your
Starting
perspective.
out!
If you ask Aurora and I what it was like starting out,
I just did a leg kick. I felt it. Okay. Woo!
before the
The
podcast,
caffeine is kicking in.
Yeah. The 6 shots of espresso.
Aurora's like, if I do anything that makes you uncomfortable, let me know. And then she's like, let's test it.
Yeah, let's push the boundaries.
All right, Lizzo,
Okay,
let's relax.
Don't you ever. Before the podcast, I made sure Raedene felt comfortable with everything that we're doing and saying. And if she doesn't feel comfortable, I gave her a safe word.
Help.
All right, there it is.
That wasn't the safe
That
word.
wasn't
Keep
it.
going.
It's too obvious. Could you imagine?
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
All right, so we are old, jaded comedians. Our memories are fuzzy of the starting in comedy. So we want to talk to you about your start in comedy. So to begin with, what got you into comedy? Like, what made you interested and passionate about it?
There's a story.
Okay, yes, we
hear it.
love stories.
And I have been meaning to make this into a bit. I've said it on stage twice, but I haven't like created tags or punches or anything. I was before I got into comedy, about maybe 6 months before I really got into the class, or even 3 months before the class, I was dating this individual, and it was the day before our month-iversary.
The month anniversary
Right.
is very big.
And
early on.
I brought it up to this person. I was like, we should do something special for our month-iversary. And they were like, no. And I was like, no way, come on. I want to do something. They're like, where would we even go? I was like, let's do something fancy. And he's like, oh, let's go to Applebee's. I was like, Applebee's isn't fancy. And he's
What?
like, it is to some people. And I was like, it is to white people. And
Facts.
he took a
Facts.
pause. Now, mind you, this is a 20-something individual who very much lives in a white part and is white. And they looked at me and he said, I don't understand why you think you can say Applebee's is fancy for white people and I can't say the N-word.
Audible gasp. Audible gasp.
What? And then we had a 2-hour conversation and he said the wildest things. Now, mind you, I'm second generation. I'm born not only of immigrants, but also like my parents left South Africa because of the systemic racism.
Oh my
So for me to be in this, I was like, I don't know how I got here. This wasn't the dream.
Wow.
But it followed where he said, what did he say? He said, racism didn't exist in the Great Depression. They were tired. They were tired. They genuinely was like, and then he said, "Aren't I helping the Black movement by taking away the power of the N-word?" And I said, "No, 20-year-old white boy, you're not. You're making it worse." And then
Lord.
he said, "I think J.F. Kennedy reinvented racism."
Okay.
Yeah, those are the things that he said. And then at the end of it, I was like, I don't think this is gonna work.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think it's a stupid reason to break up. And I was like, I don't.
Yeah.
That's a really good reason, actually.
Genuinely.
Yeah. Wow.
And then I was trying to do like the healthy, mature thing of like having a breakup talk. So he came over a week later and like we had a chat. And that was my mistake because that opened him up to questions. And at the end of it, he was like, "Can we get back together?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Well, we can't be friends." I was like, "That's fine."
Yeah.
And
wasn't looking for that.
Wow.
And then he was like, "Well, we can be friends with benefits." So I was like, "No, thank you." He was like, "I want to ask you a question." I was like, "What?" He was like, "Well, you already look mad." I was like, "What is it?" And he was like, genuinely word for word, he was like, "Do you want to go in my car and fool around and see how you feel afterwards?"
Oh my
God.
the audacity.
Now, here's why you're upset. I had a lot of time to think about it. This is why you're upset, is because he thought his white suburban dick was going to change my mind. Not even like how I felt during, but how I felt afterwards. And he would be like, penetration, poof, racism is gone from your brain.
And now we're in love.
And we go to Applebee's.
I wonder where he is. Wait, how did that get you into stand-up?
So that got me into
She just
stand-up.
wanted to share. She's like, actually, I just want to talk
And
about
that's
it.
my truth. No,
Wow.
it got me into stand-up because as someone who is like a child of immigrants, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life to get here, but this isn't it. So I joined Orange Theory Fitness, and I quit Orange Theory Fitness because not all changes are for me.
Yeah.
True.
I started like genuinely, this is all true. I went to Whole Foods, like I didn't even buy anything. I just like got in people's way just because I thought being in Whole Foods would like up my excellence. I don't know.
Nobody in Whole Foods thinks Applebee's is fancy. You're like, none of these people have ever gone to an Applebee's.
No.
You can feel the energy. You're like, they know what racism actually
Exactly.
is.
Give me my peeled fruit in a plastic container.
Yes.
I want the
And
audacity.
I will pay $50
I
for
will.
it.
Yep.
But I did that, and I noticed I kept going to parties and I kept telling this story, and like I've always wanted to do stand up, like, but I never thought that was something available to me because I just thought like it's a dream and it's one of those things that should stay a dream. But then I was like, you know what? I'm in a weird place. I'm gonna take a stand up class. And I took a stand up class and I did my first mic at Luna's, and since then it's just been like I'm just addicted. I am totally addicted and so crazy about stand up. It's truly wild. Like
Tragedy plus time equals comedy. And literally that's how you started stand-up, was this tragedy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this
This white boy tragedy.
literally you dodged a bullet.
Oh my God.
I wish that he was a comedian telling his side of the story on stage just so we could be like, nope.
No,
not it, my
dude.
guy.
Oh, the Justice Show. Could you imagine?
Oh
did
my
you come?
God.
Oh.
I didn't, but I saw it and I was like, that does look super fun.
Did you see ours?
No. Did you post it?
Raedene. Ours was wild.
What was it?
Wild.
It was, well, we did how we first met because we don't agree. And
Yep.
it was like dramatic.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
We had reenactments.
Oh
we
my
had
God.
we had
I consulted an attorney.
FaceTime. Aurora.
Yeah, I FaceTimed an eyewitness.
Amazing.
It was Unhinged, but it's about Raedene, Love and Light. It's about Raedene.
Yes.
But so okay, so you started.
I want to workshop that joke with you, just so you know, like,
yeah, let's do it.
After, not right now,
No,
but later.
Yeah.
Like,
not right now, but later.
We could go into this forever. I'm like, there's so many angles.
I love a good joke about an ex. Come on.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that.
Yep.
I love that.
And I like jokes about white guys being racist.
Yeah,
so
you do.
I do.
Okay, good. What's the other question?
Yeah.
You have one more?
So we got in. Yeah. What got you into comedy? You talked enough about it, how you learned, so we don't need to ask that.
You couldn't shut the fuck up. Thank you so much. Moving on.
Moving on. We know. We get it. White boy said some stupid shit, and everybody you told laughed. You're like, I should bring it to stage. We've all been there.
Someone said you should be a comedian. You were like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. My friends say I'm funny, and every comic rolled their eyes at you.
Oh my God, yeah.
No, that's a great story, and I really do like it.
Now I just tell stories about how I ran over a comic's dog.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Oh, you've heard this? It wasn't my fault.
It feels like it's always your fault.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard the story. I feel like I've only seen you at roast battles and like one time at the open mic here, because otherwise, like, I'm outside just like panicking about my set.
Totally fair.
So
yeah.
It's really funny.
Okay.
Just trust me on that.
I do trust you on that.
If it makes it any better, like, my dog was in the car too.
Oh, so you were like, this is what would happen to you.
So you and your giant dog were accomplice. That was your accomplice.
He's alpha. I just no. That's so mean.
Ooh.
Your dog was like, hit him. Get him.
I'm a wolf. I'm a wolf. I'm a wolf.
I'm a wolf. Get that dog.
I'm 13% wolfie. I qualify for medical.
Your dog could be protected by the Wildlife Foundation.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I just made that up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So because you have a very, like, this is very recent still to you, we are looking for what are some mistakes that you made in your first year doing comedy that you think the listeners, viewers should not do in their first few years.
Yeah, warnings or anything
Warnings, anything like that.
Truly, the first year, I just thought everyone was my friend. I was like, we're buddies. This is it. You and I have
You are a golden retriever.
You are. Yeah.
You're so adorable. Okay,
Hi,
sorry.
we're friends. Friends.
I didn't
Friends.
like, you I imagine her like flagging her tail. Oh my God, we're friends.
And I remember I was at Josh Means was having the Pro-Am workshop, and I literally raised my hand. I was like, what is the distinction between people who are comics in a community here and friends? And Jake Grizzly from the back raised his hand and was just like, nobody is your friend. I was like, thank you.
Thank you for the clarification. So thank you so much.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we'll be at his wedding and still I don't think he's a friend. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, Jake, you're not my friend.
Which is, I think that's a fair thing. Like, understand, like, for me, it's very important. Like, this is a business, this is a career, this is very much an independent sport. But also, it's like, you could be friendly with someone that does not qualify you as to your professional friendliness does not qualify to their personal life, which is, even if they're talking about personal things on stage, which is a very good, important lesson for me.
Yeah,
I think it is. Yeah.
I always try to describe it as if you worked an office job and you are professional and friendly and nice to everybody, but you always have like one, maybe two people in the office that you get drinks with, and then they become friends.
Yeah.
And if you left that job, though, you maybe have one or two people from that job if you left that you're like, yeah, they're still my friend. I still talk to them and connect with. Yeah. Otherwise, everyone else is just like, we're office friendly and we're professional and we have fun and we joke and whatever. But it is a business, and it's important to remember that not everyone is your friend. Not everyone wants you to succeed. Some people want to push you out of the way to make room for themselves.
Right.
And if you move in love and light, then you will always find the right type of energy to surround you with.
Wow.
I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit the podcast. I can't. I cannot be part of this. Unplugging the mic, metaphorically.
Gotta go.
I still have a point to make, so I can't actually physically. No, that's very true. And I think, like, yeah, a lot of people, friendly versus friends is a very strong thing you need to be aware of. Because, yeah, I definitely, I made that mistake too. So I get it.
I did too. I mean, I accidentally married one, you know.
Yeah.
Because no one told me not to date comedians.
Oh, whoa.
I'm telling you, there weren't resources like when you started, dude. No one told me.
Tried to tell her, and I would be like, shut up.
It's one of those cartoons where it's like, hey, did you know? And a chair's just thrown off
Yeah.
Hey, you shouldn't take a shot.
Yeah. Hey, you have to go on stage right now. What? I think I just heard your intro. I heard your intro. It's
Got
time
it.
for you
I'll
to
be
go
right
on
there.
stage.
Yeah. I just never find out. Yeah. Not everyone's your friend. Don't date comedians.
Don't date comedians. Yeah,
But
take it from
marrying them
us.
is fine.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
That's a different thing.
Yeah.
We're not dating.
Yeah.
Dating.
No. You literally say on every episode, we're dating still.
Do I say that?
Yeah, because you're adorable.
Oh,
What?
we are dating. Yeah, because it's love
What?
and like
Comedy.
No,
Okay, wait. Those are two really good warnings / lessons to learn in your first year. Not everyone is your friend.
yes.
And what was it, the second one?
Don't fuck your coworkers.
Don't fuck your Yes.
I like that. Like those two are really good points. One of those points being mine.
Yeah. One of those.
That's being married to Aurora right there. Just our favorite little section, pocketed punchlines. Do you have one?
Punchline.
You're a year and a half in, so I feel like
Yes.
a year and a half in, every joke is a pocketed punchline, and then
so true.
8, 9, 10 years in, you're like, oh my god, this was the funniest joke ever. Why did I stop telling this? I didn't know how. Like when you're telling like this story about like the ex, I'm like, this is the joke that once you have like your voice nailed down, your character on stage, everything, revisit it, because naturally the jokes that you want to make will come to you. Because like right now, like I said, I want to workshop it, but I'm like, right now I would give you general ideas, but you will find where you're like, oh, my character on stage is revenge seeking, or my character on stage is like forgiving or understanding, whatever it is, and it changes which tags and punchlines are available to you.
Yeah.
So it's like that one, always keep revisiting every year or two, see where your brain takes it.
Yeah.
And it'll get better. Like that waiter story I told for a long time in like maybe
the ex's story I started at the end of 2019, and it's gone through full revolution 4 years later.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's gone through a big
Damn.
So yeah.
Keep revisiting it. Keep trying.
I mean, it's a
looking at it
hilarious
again.
story. So yeah, you just gotta punch it up.
Absolutely.
Okay. It's pocketed punchlines, pocketed punchlines, pocketed punchlines. Yeah.
That was pretty good.
That was really good. We just did that on the spot, dude. That was awesome.
If you could rewatch that, I lip sync the entire
I saw it. Yeah. She's like, they've done this on an episode 17. They synced it up and they hit a little harmony at the end. Yeah. I also love that the timing on it. We have to go back and find it. You literally pulled your phone out of your pocket right before we started talking about pocketed punchlines because you knew it was coming up.
Yes.
Like, all right, pocketed punchlines.
Right.
Okay, so pocketed punchlines. Every comedian has old jokes written down, the premises they forget about, and we're gonna do a deep dive and see what you got.
Okay. I deep dove on the loo earlier.
If you have a date and time, too. No.
Okay, let me just show you. This is my comedy. This is where I keep all my jokes.
Okay.
This is a year. Okay. So the first one that I have 4, but I chose 2.
Okay.
Sorry to any comics I keep sending Facebook requests. I seriously just don't know what the big deal is. Add me on Facebook.
You're just every suggested friend. You're like add.
We have 200 mutual friends. What is the big deal?
Yeah, just add me. Just accept it.
I also love that for a split second. I was like, wait, is this a joke or is she just trying to pitch to every comedian? If you are listening to this podcast, fucking add her. Okay.
Yeah, accept the friend request.
I will say I will not add a comedian until I've actually met them in person.
That's
so
smart.
I'm sorry.
I add everybody.
Oh yeah.
But you don't. It's because Aurora doesn't know which one she's met or not met.
That is so true.
Aurora's bad with face blindness.
I'm bad with faces. I'm bad with names. And it's definitely a downfall in this industry to not be good at those two things.
I know. I walked in. Aurora was like, "So great to meet you."
I was like, "Oh, are you here to clean?" Brad, no one said that there is a cleaning crew coming right now. Oh, Raedene. Oh, you're Raedene.
That's right.
Aurora's like, "Who's our guest?" I was like, "Raedene." She's like, "Which one?" I was like, "There's only one." She did not do that.
Do it. I did not do that. Yeah. Do one more.
Okay. The other one I have is getting places early. I should be able to arrive there mid shit. And that'd be okay.
Who's shitting?
Yeah, who's
Me,
shitting?
like the idea of going somewhere early, like planes. You have to be there 2 hours early. I'm like, no,
Okay.
I should be able to arrive mid shit and be okay.
I
It's
don't get it.
2023. That's fair. That's
No, I think
Yeah,
that we're
but
both
do
like,
you
wait,
get
do you mean like you're shitting
Like you're
walking
shitting?
through TSA, or do you mean middle of the shit that's happening?
the middle of the shit to happen
Okay.
that I'm doing on the loo. I should be able to get there in the middle of things and like that be forgivable.
Okay, I don't fully get it, but I think it could be funny.
Thank you.
I do like, there is,
Mid
everything's like,
shit, mid poop.
Mid poop, yes.
Okay, so you would want to get to TSA mid poop.
I mean, that should be okay.
That you're just prairie dogging a poop?
That I have things to do.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's a fair argument. I would write a thesis on it.
Okay, I have 2 more if that
Yeah.
didn't work.
I
Okay,
have
you're
time
like,
to-
yeah,
No, we're going to keep this all in. Yeah, these are great.
These are all good,
I
yeah.
have to-
Love and light, love and light.
Love and light. Excuse
Love and
me.
light.
I had a burp.
In and out, when they ask, will you be eating in the car? You can't text and drive, but by all means, eat in and out and drive.
Yes. Well, that's just a strong opinion that I agree with.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you.
Yes.
I like that In and Out is very inspirational for comedy. Like I
It's
wrote
true.
that they clearly don't know what napkins are used for because they just toss it right on top of the greasy like.
And they always have the cheese stuck to it.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't use the bottom 3 napkins. Like I can use the top. Why?
Yeah,
why do they not
do
understand
that?
how napkins work?
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay. In and out.
That's a good point.
I like that but they don't give you the right kind of napkins, like, or they don't give you the napkins the right way, but they give you a placemat.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What the hell?
They don't know what they're doing. They're delicious, but they don't know what they're doing.
This last one was
Yes.
just, it's something I experienced a lot. You know when you go to a cafe and you sit next to someone for a long time, fighting the urge to say goodbye when you leave.
Whoa, I do fight that urge to just be like, it's been a pleasure. You know? Do you ever feel that way?
The game I went to yesterday, there was a family sitting next to me, and when I like went to like get out of the sun, I was like, "Do I say goodbye to them so they know?"
Yeah.
It's
Like,
been such a moment of silence that we've shared.
Yeah. Like, and it is like when you both are just like, and like, I don't know if you've ever done this, but I've worked in a coffee shop where I'm like, I feel safe enough to leave my stuff while I go to the bathroom. And I kind of like look at them and I'm like, and we do the eye contact and I go to the bathroom and I come back and everything's good. And then it's like, yeah, I leave and I'm like, do I tell them thank you? Like what,
Right.
what do I do?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's good. Dive on that one.
Okay.
That's
That
the
one's
one.
relatable.
yeah.
At least to us.
I like that we built up. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't
was
get
like,
it.
mid shit.
That's the honesty of our podcast that we're like mid shit.
We're not gonna, what's it called? Honey trap you. Love bomb.
Mom,
Wait,
honey,
that's not honey trap.
Love
That's not-
bomb and yes chamber.
Yeah. We're not
Yeah.
gonna, what's a honey trap? Oh, I remember
Yeah.
what a honey trap is. We're not honey trapping
What's a
it.
honey trap?
Honey trap is what spies do when they need to get in like intel from a bad guy, and they honey trap him. So they send in one of the spies to seduce them and fuck them while they collect the information that they need.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
not doing that.
We're not doing that.
Love and light.
Love and light. It's about Raedene. Love and light.
No, that one. That is very relatable because it's like, yeah, what is the standard? Like, when do you introduce yourself? When do you like have to say goodbye? Like, if you say hi to the person on the plane next to you, do you have to say goodbye at the end?
Have a fun
When
trip.
do you have to say hi? Like, yeah,
Right.
what's
Yeah, what is that? Oh my God.
And I feel like our generation is really dealing with that more. So I feel like this is going to be one of those bits that as you build on it, everybody's going to be like, oh my God, yeah, I've been there. I've done that. What
It's
do we
a
do?
memorable bit too. If you can really expand on it, that could really like, you could dig into psychology a little bit
Yeah.
and make it really funny. And then that could be like a good bit that people relate to and remember.
And a callback at the end of the set to
Ooh,
it somehow.
yeah.
Like, since
At the
now
end,
that
be
we've
like,
met.
Yeah, now that we've met, like, I don't know. Bye, I love you. I love you so much. Like, what are we, like,
This is so cool.
yeah.
This is,
I think
wow.
I like that one more than the shitting one. I would
That's
honestly
fair.
say flush the shit one.
That's okay.
Get it? Thanks, Raedene.
I'm shaking my head no,
But,
just in case
shoo.
anybody's like, oh, Drew's laughing. No.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap it, guys.
Let's
oh
do
my
it.
God.
I think we're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are.
Thank you so so much, everyone, for listening to this episode of the Love and Comedy Podcast. Please follow us on all the socials at the Love and Comedy Podcast. And when I say all the socials, I do just mean Instagram and TikTok. And follow me. I've been one of your hosts, Aurora Singh.
And I've been your other host, Drew Schaefer. I'm at Drew Schaefer Comedy on TikTok and Instagram.
And I'm Aurora Singh Comedy on TikTok and Instagram and everything, Facebook, all the good things. And Pinterest, too. I'm on Pinterest.
Follow her pins to see what recipes she's making this week.
No, I post my comedy on Pinterest.
That's a thing?
I post my clips on Pinterest.
What?
Yeah, I've actually had someone find me on Pinterest and come to a show.
All right, comedians,
Yeah.
we heard it here.
Yeah.
This is a
Pinterest.
new.
I know. I'm like, why not? It's another platform.
Who needs
Hey.
Threads? Who needs X?
Who
we
needs
got
Google Plus?
Pinterest.
We got Pinterest. And thank you, Raedene, so much for coming on our podcast. You were absolutely incrable. Do you feel good about
I
it?
feel great.
Okay, good. Where can
Way to put her on the spot. Yeah,
I know.
just
Do you
did
feel
you
good
did you
about
have fun? She's like, no.
where can everybody find you?
Oh my God, you can find me Mondays co-hosting at Golden Bear, Tuesdays co-hosting at Comedy Spot, Thursdays every other Thursday at The Stab, Sunday once a month, or Saturday once a month at Front Street in Old Sacramento, and Sundays as well, Stab every now and then. But if you do not want to commit work hours, that's okay. You can find me on Instagram at RAED as in damn, ENE Harbor. That's me.
Also, make sure that you don't ask her for a spot on any of these mics beforehand. She won't give it to you.
Yeah.
Everyone, 7:30 signups. That's
No
it.
nepotism. No favors.
Yes. It's professional.
No
over here.
substitutions.
Nope.
We cook what we cook here.
Yeah.
Unless you're Kyrie Shabazz, because I have absolutely bumped people.
We've all been
That's
bumped.
fair. Yeah,
if you
we've
haven't
all-
been bumped by him, you're not a Sacramento
we've all
comedian.
been bumped by Kyrie, and we're all okay with it.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
He's amazing. Okay, well, thank you so much. What else? Do we need to do anything else? Oh, we release episodes every Thursday.
Yeah.
This is season 2. Subscribe, share, rate,
all the things.
comment,
Tell your friends.
tell your friends.
Yeah.
Okay, love you.
Love and light.
Love and light.
Love and light.
Love and light.